Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of the Super Mario 64 Minecraft map. In the last episode we checked out Bowser in the Dark World, the first boss area, and in this episode, as I said, I'm going to be showing off kind of like the command block stuff and what I've done to make that work. So hopefully this episode not only will kind of like explain more about this map, but also can teach you some things that you might not have known about command blocks or some stuff you could have done if you guys were interested in making maps. So, anywho, to start off, today I'm going to be looking at this big old device right here. I kind of showed off what this does earlier, but I don't think I really went in detail on about each command block. But as you can see, this whole system right here, this is the star. If you don't remember from the first episode, this is a system where you put stars in the item frames, and it kind of unlocks like each little tick right here. And at a certain point, when you put enough stars in the system, it'll broadcast a command right there that will basically trigger a new area that you can access in the castle. So that way you need to get a certain amount of stars in order to access new areas in the castle. So this one right here is only 10 stars if you can count this. It's 10 right there. But the command, it basically right here, the say is just, it tells you in like chat, with the power of the stars, the star door leading to Bowser in the Dark World is unlocked. So that's what it broadcasts in chat. Then it'll do this right here. This is a fancy way right here. Execute at player is basically just a fancy way of saying that what's going to happen is where you're at. And then run right here is play sound, which as you can tell or probably guess just plays a sound, is SFX6, which is kind of like a little jingle. It's a custom, this part of the texture pack, it's a custom sound effect that plays. And then the block is just where, like, what setting it's going to play at. Is it going to play in your ambient stuff? So it plays in block. Meaning that, like, if you were to turn down the block sounds in Minecraft itself, it would turn this down. And then at your nearest player. So that's that. And then it'll set block that this area, a birch pressure plate. And this one's also the same thing, just one block. This is negative 933, this is negative 934. And that's just going to put pressure plates in front of a door that you can access. So that's kind of how unlocking areas works. It just puts a pressure plate in front of an iron door, which is retextured to be a star door. So that's the first one. Then your second one right here is 25 stars. And kind of a similar thing. This one just leading to Bowser in the Fire Sea will unlock. And then it plays another sound and sets more birch pressure plates. As you guys remember, the birch pressure plate is the hand, so kind of like an indicator that you can step on it and something will happen. And then the next one down here, I believe, is 40 stars. And once you've done that, Bowser, the star door leading to the third floor will unlock. And then the fourth one right here is 50 stars. Which is Bowser in the Sky. All these are the same idea with the command blocks, just different areas in the birch pressure plate. Same sound effect will play. And last but not least, if you get all 100 stars, then the cannon gate will open at the castle, which says right here, the cannon outside Peach's castle will be repaired. This time, once you get a sound effect, it'll just set block air, which is just going to destroy the block, basically. And I believe the thing that's blocking it is an iron gate, or iron bars. Yeah, so this would basically just get destroyed. Alright, so might as well explain this in Bob-omb Battlefield. This is where I started off. So we'll show off the command stuff here. You can get some nice music while we do it. But yeah, so where's probably the easiest way to start off is right here. This simply is going to clear all red coins in your inventory. This is a fancy way of saying clearing all red tulips that are renamed to red coins. Will get cleared from your inventory. And these are just going to spawn in the red tulips, which are red coins in this game. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them that will spawn in this level. And actually every single level will have 8 red coins. So these ones right here will set the stars in the level. Now you might be thinking there's 5 stars. Why are there only 3 rows of command blocks? And to that I have to say there's only 3 stars that will appear for you to collect in the level originally. I have to actually get rid of that, but right here, and right here are the only stars that'll get spawned in. The other ones, you have to do something in the level to trigger them. One of them has to get triggered by the red coins, and the other one, you step on the star platform right here, switch plate, to spawn it in. So obviously those aren't going to be spawned in when you enter the level. But yeah, it starts off by spawning in dead bushes, and this is an interesting physics, because the dead bushes in this game are the already collected stars, right? I can't actually put it down like manually because it only goes on sand, but you can set it anywhere in the level. And the ferns are the actual stars. So as you can see, if you follow the chain of commands, or the chain of redstone, it'll set block the dead bush and then override it immediately to the fern. But once you get the star, and this is kind of going a bit ahead, but once you get the star, I'll explain this later too, it'll actually get rid of this repeater for the star that you got, and then it will only spawn in the dead bush, and it won't actually have a redstone repeater in order to trigger the fern. So that's how you can get a star, and then when you go back into the level, it'll spawn in the dead bush. Let's get this music going again. Alright, so next up on the lines, on the chain thing, is actually this little device right here, and I'm pretty proud of this because you can spawn this in anywhere in the world and it'll work. Like with these ones, you have to go in and adjust where it's setting the block, but this will work anywhere. And that's because it's detecting for if you're touching a red tulip or a red coin, and then it's going to broadcast what happens then. So you might be wondering in the game, how was it that I could just place down a red tulip or a red coin anywhere, and then I collect it in my inventory? So that's this machine right here. So this side right here is going to execute at your player if the block is a red tulip. It's kind of just checking to make sure that it's still a red tulip and you haven't moved out of the way. Then it's going to set that block into air. That's why you kind of have to like stay there a little bit and then it triggers. It's not like an immediate thing just because it has to kind of run through these repeaters first. So then it'll destroy that. And then this one right here will give you the red coin. And hopefully that wasn't too fast. Just once again, execute as nearest. This is actually all players, so detecting for anyone in the map. And this, once again, is just a fancy way of saying where someone is at. And then this one is going to, at the nearest player, run the play sound of this right here, which is the red coin collection sound. And the reason why this execute part needs to be there first is because if I don't have it there, it's going to actually play the sound at this command block, and I won't be able to hear it at the red coin. It'll sound. I'd collect this, and instead of hearing the red coin sound like in my face, I'd be hearing it from that command block, so it'd be at a distance. And that's no good. So, and the reason why there's 2 of these right here is simply just this one detects if it's a block above you, like I guess at here, easiest way to describe it is if it's at this level right here, then this one will run, and if it's at this level right here, then this needs to run, because there needs to be a separate chain of command blocks for each like position that the coin is at. Kind of weird, but that's how it has to work. This little guy right here is kind of goes along with the red coins. It will run a sound effect this time, this is like the jingle for spawning in a star. Actually, first, I should probably say, it detects... This one actually took forever to figure out, but it detects if you have 8 red tulips in your inventory. Count 8B just means 8. So if you have red tulips at count 8B that are displayed as the name red coins, then it will run a sound effect, which I already explained, and then it'll set block. And this is kind of the same thing before that I was talking about over there. It does the dead bush and then overwrites it into a fern. Once I've already got the star, it'll get rid of this repeater. So yeah. This one right here detects if you're touching a fern. So a star. This one right here is just if you're if it's one block above or if it's at your feet. And then it goes, both of these go through the same thing, but this one right here will just say stop all sounds and then run the sound of collecting a star. And then each 5 of these, it's going to detect which star you're at. So since there's 5 stars in the level, this is the first star, second star, third, fourth, fifth. And if you go through these, this one is going to execute at all players. If an entity at this position, that's the position of the first star. That's just basically this is just an if block right here. That's just triggering if you're at this area, this, and then it'll move forward. And that's why when you collect a star, like anywhere else outside of the area, it'll basically reset this chain right here. It won't trigger any of these. Then basically it just sets the block of the star to air, destroys it, and then this right here just gives you a fern that's renamed to the star name. So like this one renamed the top of the hill, and then this is just a long wait channel to like kind of let you see the star that you got before immediately sending you back. This one right here gets rid of all the red coins in your inventory. This sets the block of the... Oh, that's the repeater, right. So that's going to set the repeater over here to... It's going to destroy the repeater, so it spawns in a dead bush next time. Kind of what I was talking about earlier. Then the last command block at the end will just teleport you back to the spawn. Or I guess to the castle. Alright, and then there's one more little command block chain hidden underneath here that deals with the whole star and level mechanics. So this one right here, alongside this, which detects if you're touching a fern, this one will detect if you're touching a dead bush. So it executes if you're touching a dead bush, if the block is a Minecraft dead bush, basically just if it's still a dead bush by the time it takes 1 millisecond to get to here, then it sets it to air. Just kind of have to check, otherwise it will sometimes set the block right next to it if you move out of the way too quickly. And once again, this is just if it's at your feet, and this is if it's one ahead of you. Then it kind of does the same thing, stop all sounds, play the sound effect of getting a star, destroy all red coins in your inventory, and teleport you home. So there you go. That's basically the command block physics for this area. If I was too fast and you didn't catch any of that, or you had a hard time, or I messed up or something like that, please let me know in the comments and I can explain it in better detail, because I kind of know it by the back of my head, but I might have forgotten to explain something in this video. So apologies if that was the case, but there's one more thing I kind of have to show off about this physics, and this is this Babam Buddy right here, which gives you... Nope, I can't do that. I don't know. But, oh no, I'm fine. Okay. This guy sets the cannon to open, right? So he says, hi, I'll prepare the cannon for you. I can actually click it right now. He says that, and then it opens up. So what kind of goes on in here? It's pretty simple, but just leads up to this command block, which is the message that plays. This one right here sets the block to a redstone torch. This is it's kind of just a buffer system. So this redstone torch right here is just what spawns in. That way, it'll always be the cannon will always be triggered once you leave, and once you come back, this redstone torch is still going to be here. There's nothing that destroys it. That's basically what this is. And then this is an inverted signal, and right above there is actually the gate. So it basically just opens that gate. Oh yeah, and then this right here, when you step on the pressure plate, it just teleports you to the location where the cannon would send you. That's how that works. So pretty simple command system right there. But yeah. And that is all. And then I guess the last thing I can say is this right here. If you manage to go into creative mode and kind of explore around, you might be like, what's this string right here? This right here is basically just I'd call it a dev switch. It basically resets the state of the level. So all the repeaters will spawn back in. This is kind of just a testing thing. So, like, obviously in-game, this is something you would not hit. It would spawn all the stars in, you'd be able to get them again, and it's cheating, so don't click this unless you just want to cheat, and I guess if that's what you want to do, then you do you. But yeah, all these right here spawn in the repeaters, teleports you home, and destroys all your red coins. That's what it does. Or actually, no. Does it? Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, destroys your red coins. You probably don't want those in your inventory. And now that I think about it, I forgot about the switch plates. So this right here is more of a bigger system. You might be looking at this being with your mouth wide open, like what the heck? But it's I don't know. Originally I was doing something else. Ignore all the complex amount of repeaters. It's just oh boy, that's fine. It's just a large amount of note blocks. It just kind of triggers through to like give you a timer, and then the very end right here, this guy right there destroys the star when it spawns in, and there's also one that sets the star at the very beginning. Right here, this plays the sound effect of a star appearing. This right here is again the dead bush fern overriding thing. So yeah, I guess that's all to say about this. And each level kind of has the same system, so not really much of a point of going to another level and explaining the system there. All that's going to be different is the star names and basically the locations where everything's going to spawn in. So hopefully this clears up a lot of that stuff up. I know this is a bit of a longer episode, just a lot of explaining what's going on, but yeah, hopefully this was useful for you guys, or still maybe even entertaining to hear about all this stuff. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode anyway, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe to this channel if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you guys for the next part.